a lot of creators want the opportunity, but not everybody's ready for the pressure that comes with it. Today, we're talking about creative pressure, the expectations, the deadlines, and the demands that go along with trying to build something real. Welcome to Titan Sound Sessions. This is where we explore the process behind creation. And in today's session, I got a good friend. I got my brother with me. I call him Nuk, and the creative community calls him Nuk Beatz. The world calls him Nuk Beatz, the prime example. Nuk, my brother, welcome.
My bro.
No, welcome back.
Yeah, right,
welcome back.
What's
You're
up,
one of the
bro?
first producers to pull up when I built this thing.
Facts, bro. Man, like I said, to see where this place grew into, where you took it, bro. Like I said, it's always love, man. It's dope being here. Love the energy all the time, the vibes. You know, we made some magic in here. You know what I mean?
Yes, we have.
So
we got a few joints.
Facts.
We got a few.
Facts. But nah, I appreciate you, bro. You know, thanks for having me.
No problem. Listen, so in today's session, we're getting into creative pressure. You know, how to handle that, because our goal here is to open the eyes of the aspiring creators, the next generation.
Yes, sir.
So they know what to expect and know what potholes to avoid on this journey they're about to embark on. And this is good for even veterans as well, too. Sometimes we need a quick refresher.
Yeah, man.
A quick reminder.
Yeah.
So I want to dive into what creative pressure really looks like. Now, if I ask you that question, you know, where does that pressure come from for you? What is the first thoughts that you have?
So for me, when I hear creative pressure, I'm automatically thinking about when I'm, you know, in the studio or deadlines, pleasing people or pleasing companies or whatever the case.
Mm-hmm.
But creative pressure, man, that's something that I had to understand over time. It wasn't a blueprint for it. I just had to go through a lot to actually understand that. And I'll be honest, I didn't like pressure. But
talk about it.
But in time, I understood that pressure is needed in some cases. And you know what they say, pressure makes diamonds.
Very true.
So I definitely
could also bust pipes.
Yes, exactly. Pressure could also bust pipes. So I definitely understand both sides of it. But for me, I was always a person to where I never really liked pressure just because of the love I have for the art and the music. You know what I'm saying? And the creative process. So the pressure used to get in the way a lot. You know what I'm saying? To where now I'm thinking out of my creative zone. You know what I mean? I'm thinking outside and I'm like, oh man, I gotta do this. And now it throws me off. But in time, you know, I was able to manage it over the years. You know, when I first started, it wasn't good. That creative pressure was not good, but it just takes some learning and getting used to at the end of the day. And it's needed. Like I said, in some cases, it's definitely needed. So it's both sides. It's two sides to it. You know what I mean? How I look at it.
So the two sides, let's dive into outside pressure versus the internal.
Yes, sir.
Pressure. Where are you ranking each one? Does the internal pressure outweigh the outside pressure that we get? When we think outside pressure, we're talking about, like you said, demands and expectations from those that we're creating for, versus the standards that you set for yourself in hitting certain marks. Which one usually holds the most weight for you?
Man, for me, I say it's a bit of both of them, but more for me, it's got to be internal because at the end of the day, I control my destiny at the end of the day, and I control whatever happens. So it comes from internal me. Emotionally, sometimes it can drain you or it can help you emotionally, you know, and when it comes from the outside, you can actually, it's all about how you handle it from within to actually make that happen, you know, from the outside.
Now, as creators, you know, we're in a service.
Yes.
we're in the service industry as creators, especially when you're talking about producing, songwriting, especially when you're doing it for others. It may not be your particular vibe. It may not be something that
Your niche.
excites you, that you're overly passionate about,
Yes.
but you have to deliver. What type of pressure is that when you're in that situation?
Man. Yeah, that's a tough one, bro. So a lot of times it happened a lot where something that I'm not used to making or creating, I like challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You know, challenges makes you better, completes you to a certain extent. It finishes you as a creative and it helps out. But at the same time, when it comes to actually trying to meet these deadlines with something that you're not feeling, like back to internal. For me as a creative, if I'm not feeling it internally, then it's going to be hard for me to adapt to that situation. Now, do I adapt? Yeah, over the years, I started learning how to put myself in those shoes to feel. But also, I still always remain me, like who I am as a creative. And I don't want to ever shy away from that. You know what I mean? Because it's about staying true to yourself. You know, stay true to yourself, but also try to compromise and understand that certain things has to be done if you want things to happen for you.
Speaking of understanding, what are some things that people may misunderstand about creative pressure?
They might hear pressure and automatically think negative
Mm-hmm.
and just think, oh man, you know, this is bad, this pressure is pressure. Because I was one of those people in the beginning of the career. But pressure is not always negative. Pressure can be that extra foot that you need to help you get through.
Pressure can be motivation.
Exactly. Yes.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to dive back into the expectation side of it.
Right.
Because, once pressure shows up, the real question becomes how you carry it, right? And not let it control you.
Right. That's big
even
too.
though you still have to deliver, right?
Yes, that's big. Control.
Not letting it control you or control the work. So from there, I want to dive into expectations. I think this is a good conversation to have. We're dealing with artists and collaborations. Let's get into that expectation side of it. When we are in that creative mode, it is a very special place. And anything can disrupt it and throw it off and just completely tank the vibe. And in my opinion, expectations from other people can get in the way of some very genius moments.
Bro, yes.
And then at the same time, we have to remember, okay, this isn't my project.
Yes.
I'm being brought in to assist on somebody else's work. So I have to get out of the driver's seat per se.
Right.
And I won't even say get out the driver's seat. I have to follow the GPS to the destination.
Yeah.
I can't make a detour.
Right.
It says 2 rights, a left, straight for a mile. It is on your right.
Right.
I can't make a left, take the scenic route, and get to the destination.
At all.
We can't do that. For so many reasons. Even though the scenic route is the best route.
Yeah.
We have to follow the GPS based on the instructions that we're given. So how do you how do you do? Let's talk about a few of these segments. You have your artists, you have the collaboration segment, you have peers, you have people in the industry itself.
Yeah.
When it comes to expectations, let's walk through our experiences with that.
And I'll take it even further. I'll take it even to beat battles because that's where we come from. You know what I'm saying? So
good old days. Shout out to I Standard.
Shout out to I
Best
Standard.
Do it.
Rest in peace, J Hatch, man.
Absolutely.
Always, man.
Long live J Hatch.
That's the bro, man. Like I said, it's my brother right here, man. We met through I Standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So literally, you know what I mean? It was my featured showcase in Philly where I initially
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I think shout out to bro Oscar Crowley. He was like, "Yo, man, you know this the bro, man. You know what I mean? Producer too. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
Jersey." At first I thought you was from Philly. I'm like, "Oh, bro. Oh, you Jersey, bro?"
Let's I gotta address that.
Right.
Everybody thinks I'm from everywhere but Jersey.
Right. Yo, they thought I was from New York for a minute, bro, because I was always up there.
My boys I grew up with. Like, yo, you still live in Atlanta? What?
Yo, right. Because they see you out there moving around. They
Yeah,
just think,
I went to a funeral back here. This is a couple years ago. And they were like, "Oh, how long you in town for?" I'm like, "Huh?
yo, yeah, bro,
I still live
yeah.
here."
Right.
But being in the creative community, we city to city,
Right.
it just looks like we live everywhere but home.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Right. So getting back to that, yeah, man. So beat battles, the expectations, right? So just me being who I am as a creative,
Mm-hmm.
I love, to get the reaction from the people, from the crowd. When it comes to beat battles and preparing for that, a lot of times when I made these beats, I didn't make it in the studio. I made it at a kitchen table sometime. You know what I mean? Or of course my home setup, but sometimes, bro, I didn't have my setup, and it just was me, my laptop, and a kitchen table. And I used to have a lot of stuff happening all around me, and I have to get into my zone and come up with these battle beats that I have to literally shock the world with. You know what I'm saying? And that again, creative pressure, because things going on. Like, it can be somebody, somebody in the family, like, "Yo, Nook, can you do this?" My kids, like, "Dad,
And you got to turn in your 5 songs.
right?" And you got to turn
5 p.m.
right, exactly. So it's like, it's been times, bro, I had at least, and of course, when you got other stuff going on in real life, working and stuff like that, it's like, bro, people get it, but a lot of times they don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? Like they look at it as an excuse. So it's like you gotta actually meet those requirements. Sometimes they're understanding because they go through the same. We all go through stuff, but it's all about balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't go too overboard. Like, if you have to get something done, make space and make time for you to properly get it done. That's one thing I had to learn over the years.
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying?
And let's not, the fact that you brought up the beat battles, let's not forget that you're in competition with everybody.
Right.
You're in competition with unsigned creators. You're in competition with signed creators.
Yes, sir.
Everybody's competing for the same spot on the same projects.
Right.
And we talked about this before in previous sessions. Relationships are important.
Yes, sir.
So when you have deadlines and expectations, you have to meet them, or the next creator will.
It's gonna take your spot.
Yeah.
Just for that situation.
This is not music friendship, it's music business.
Right.
So yeah, it's very important that we embrace that creative pressure and not look at it, like you said, from a negative standpoint.
Right.
Gotta take the positive out of it.
I take an example. Shout out to my bro, Sherrod Starks, formerly known as PT Starks.
My guy.
Yes, sir. BAU, business as usual.
Money.
What up? So, bro had called me one day, and I was literally on my way to work.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes in time. Not saying everybody will be able to do this, but this comes in like experience and time of creative pressure. Bro calls me, "Yo, bro, I know it's real last minute, bro. I got a record. Like I got the okay to get a feature from, shout out to Leaf Ward, Free Leaf Ward. Leaf Ward is a dope artist, dope rapper from Philly. Fire. Everybody know who he is. So Sherrod ended up getting, they chopped it up, ended up getting a feature. He ended up getting a feature with him, right? But he ain't have the beat for it yet. Bro called, said, "Yo, bro, I don't know what's going on. And I get it. I know, you know what I'm saying? Previously, I had to, I was on my way to work. I literally had 3 hours before I went to work. Sleep, thinking, oh, maybe I can get it. When he called me and told me that, I said, you know what? Let me get ready. Bro, I got you. I gave him my word. I said, I got you. Sat down, chef the beat up. And this wasn't like I had to make sure this beat was fully dressed up. It wasn't like just an idea and I send it. No, I had to dress this beat up because he was going into the studio the same day to record with Leaf.
Mm.
So, and then the other aspect of it is this going to be it, what I send? But bro, trust me. So he said, okay, I know Nook is going to deliver. I know my bro going to deliver. Let me hit bro up and see, what we come up with. I had like an hour, I say an hour and a half, 2 hours. I sat down, left myself an hour before I went to go to work. Created the beat, sent the beat. Bro was like, yeah. Yeah, bro. This why, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This, you know what I mean? So, and we ended up getting that record. Leaf was filling the record. They ended up recording to it in the studio, and yeah, all else was history. So, yeah. But yeah, if I didn't meet that, like if I didn't say, all right, it's crunch time, man, let me go ahead and put other stuff to the side and just zone out and lock in, that placement wouldn't have happened.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And I like that story because expectations are one thing, deadlines are another. And when time enters the equation,
yes,
the pressure changes. So
Right.
let's get into deadlines because that's a different level of pressure. We talked, we gave the I standard example, your music got to be in by midnight the day before the showcase.
Right. And we want to dress it up. We want to make sure
and
it sounds good. And
then you find out so-and-so is going to be in the building.
Yeah,
like
right.
If we had drama in NYC, okay, I'm going to have to see Duck Dodger.
Shout out to Duck.
Shout out to
bros
on the stage.
Kelsey,
Overload
what up?
is going to be on the
Overload
stage.
Radio, what up, guys?
I'm going back some years, but there was some stiff competition. The Grinch is in the building. This is going to be some heavy hitters, and you can't come in there with a weak set because you would literally get blasted off that stage.
Facts.
And the judges will let you know, like,
yeah,
John board,
right.
It's a cool vibe,
and it's documented. That's the thing. So it's not like it's just scores. It's documented. It's going to be out for people to see, and you don't want to be that person, So we definitely, we understood that, that aspect of it. And I always, like I said, over the years, I had to make myself, I had to get like that, and it actually helped me tremendously. Now, do I meet all deadlines? No. Sometimes I can't meet certain things. Now, most of the deadlines that I do have, that I did meet, they actually helped me out tremendously. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So sometimes we're not gonna meet.
You.
Yeah, we're not gonna meet everything. Sometimes, even in licensing. I
was gonna get into
the
sync world.
Yeah, sync world. They be wanting stuff like, yo.
So let's break that down.
Right.
So everybody understands it. So when you're in the sync world, licensing for TV and film, there's a brief that'll come from a music supervisor of certain shows.
Yes.
This is what we're looking for. They'll give you the examples of the music that's done before.
Yeah.
Your goal is to create exactly what they're asking for without using samples, because samples are a hassle to clear.
Facts.
So if you use something with a sample, you're automatically dismissed.
Yeah, they not even going.
Dismissed and disqualified.
Right.
So you have the brief, you have the checkpoints that you have to meet, and then you have to submit the music a certain type of way. You have the song, the instrumental, the acapella, the stings.
Yes.
All of this is due in the brief. And if you miss one thing, you miss the opportunity.
The opportunity goes.
And then usually those briefs will come and you have 3 days.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get it done.
And some of them they'll say, if it's in-house, man, they'll say, yo, we need something by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or something. Yo, can you send me something today?
I saw a couple briefs at noon.
Right.
5 o'clock today. I'm like, 5 oh.
Yo, like, come on, man. I'm looking through what I got already, but
yeah, that comes to making decisions fast.
Yes, exactly. And that's a big part of it. When it comes to that, it's a very big part of it. And like I said, you might not meet all the opportunities. You know, you might see them and you might be like, man, or you might say, yo, is this even worth me doing that? You know, you just gotta play it smart. You gotta weed it out. But also, you don't want to miss nothing. You don't want to miss no opportunities, because the opportunity can help you.
So
It can change you.
So let's stay right there, right?
Right.
Staying professional when inspiration isn't there. So let's talk about the briefs.
Yes, sir.
Not all briefs fit your vibe, but you're being contacted to deliver, so you have to deliver anyway.
Yes.
The reason you still want to deliver is because you always want your name in a hat
Yes.
when these opportunities come around.
You want to put your ticket in. Just
Right,
put your ticket in.
if you don't respond to the calls are going to stop.
Yes, sir.
And then now you got to fight your way back up the ladder to get these same opportunities.
Right.
And also, these present opportunities for growth. Now, why do I say that? A lot of times we specialize in a niche, right? We have a niche.
Yeah.
We R&B/hip hop. But this is a pop song.
Right.
Stretch yourself.
Right.
The example I love to use is Flow Rider.
Mm.
When Flow Rider first came out, hardcore rap. It wasn't even hip hop. It was just hardcore rap when Flow Rider came out.
Right.
Now this dude is the biggest. Him and Pitbull are the biggest pop stars in the world. They might be the richest rappers in the world.
Right. Right.
Because they went to the pop side and found tremendous success. And like, you know what? I'm going to stay right here in this lane.
Yup. They tapped into that market and they knew. They said, yo, this is working for me and I'm going to stick with it.
They stretched themselves.
Right.
And they found a new lane, and a lucrative one at that, all because they took a gamble, did something that was outside of their normal comfort zone. But wow, the grass was greener where they stepped.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, that's why I'll always say, don't be afraid to stretch yourself, because you'll be surprised what you may discover in that process. I talk about how Titan started out as a rap album.
Right. Right.
Titan started 5 years before it came out.
And I remember I was there. I remember.
that was going to be just a heavy rap album.
Yes, sir.
Hit a creative pocket where it just went R&B, and then overnight I just became the R&B killer at beat battles. Like,
right.
This dude wins beat battles playing R&B beats. I just found a different pocket.
Yeah.
Because I just tapped into something that was always there, but I just never really dived into.
And then when you know people love it and it's stuck, you say, "Oh yeah, this it." Like, I love this. I love this too. You know what I mean?
So there's like,
and it's fire.
They forgot I started out making rap beats.
Right.
Soul samples and everything.
Yeah.
I play some most like, hold on, you did this? Like, yeah, this is actually what I used to always do.
Right.
But I found a different lane and just explored it, and a lot of different doors opened up.
Yes, sir.
Because of it. So
yeah. And that's the good thing about experience and going through these things, you know, over the years. You know what I'm saying? We able to meet those requirements with the creative pressure and everything. So yeah. And you know, we talked about it. We had phases. You know, one night we was in here playing our old beats, going through our, you know what I'm saying? Going through our arsenal and catalog. And I'm like, yo, we really came a long way, man. Like, even reggaeton. Like, I remember I had a whole phase of reggaeton beats at one point. like it's just, you know, going through those phases. Had my sampling phase, had my pop phase, had my trap phase, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, all those things over the years, because I started out making hip hop, straight hip hop. Like, I just wanted to be like the producers that I saw on TV, you know what I mean, that I always was listening to. So I just started just mimicking that and just coming up with my own stuff. But, you know, it happens over the years, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we here now. So
I think this is where a lot of creators, they're going to get tested.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really because pressure doesn't just affect their work, it affects their mindset.
Right. And that's why I said emotional earlier, like internal emotionally, that's where that came from. because that's important too. Because if your mindset is not intact, how you gonna create? It's gonna be very hard to create. You need your mind. You need your mindset. And
So how pressure affects your mindset, my first thought is going to be overthinking.
that's it.
I've definitely done my fair share of overthinking.
Me
Sometimes
too.
I still do my fair share
Right,
of
right,
overthinking, even after the 10,000 plus hours we got in this
right.
thing.
And it's natural, because at the end of the day, we still human beings. You know what I mean? And we know, even though we very experienced, we've been in this for a long time, we still have our moments, and we're still learning too at the same time every day.
When self-doubt kicks in, what's your remedy to
Mm,
circumvent that?
man, I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I start doing that, and I haven't done it, in a long, long time, but it's little moments where I be like, man, I don't know if I'm feeling this. I don't know if I'm feeling this today, man. I don't know this. Is this gonna be like, we always gonna have those thoughts, but to an extent that I had years ago, I would just say letting everything don't force nothing, letting everything flow. You know what I'm saying? When I started like you said, overthinking and forcing stuff, that's when it gets crazy and it starts to affect my creative process and flow. Like I can't even, because I'm starting to think about too much. There's too much going on. Now you're starting to worry and, and that's how stress starts and stuff like that. And that's real when it comes to us creatives because we already got a lot going on in our mind that we thinking about. I don't want to do half of a job of a idea. You know what I mean? I want myself at full capacity. You know what I mean? I want to keep that energy, full energy. I don't want to diminish anything. So that gets in the way. What I do, take a break. I take a break and I go somewhere, find some inspiration from somewhere. I might do something as maybe I need to talk to my kids for a little bit, man. I call my kids. How y'all doing, man? Y'all good? You know what I mean? I just need to hear y'all voice. Boom. Now I'm back.
Yeah, Dad, I want that new game for that
All
PS5.
right. Now you gotta think about something else. Like, oh man, they just threw me off a little, but yeah, my babies, man, so. But yeah, basically taking breaks. I had to learn to do that. I had to learn to do that a lot. I used to sit at the computer for hours. I still do sometimes, but it's nothing wrong with us taking breaks. You know what I mean? When I do it, I go. I might not even come back to the beat till the next day or to the next week.
Sometimes that's necessary unless you have a 9 o'clock deadline.
Right. Yes.
So that's the other part, right? So
right.
The mental breaks are necessary, but when you have a deadline, you have expectation, and there's pressure.
Right.
You might not have time for a break.
No.
I think this is where we build that muscle early.
Right.
Right? Because the whole thing is, how do you deal with the pressure? It's not a question of, is the pressure coming?
Mm-hmm.
The pressure is going to come.
It's going to.
The demands are going to be there. The expectations and the deadlines are going to be there. The question is, okay, how do we handle it in the face of that adversity? You're going to deal with the self-doubt. You're going to deal with the overthinking. You're going to deal with the comparison because now you're comparing yourself to all the other people that are in the field that are applying for the same opportunity that you are. And if you're well-studied, you know the field. So I know that person's sound. I know that person's sound. I know what they can do. I know what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
Or the prior collaborators that worked with the artist or the opportunity before, you know what they've done.
Yes.
So it's not like, okay, do I have to hit that mark, or are they looking for the same exact thing or something similar or something different? Like, you're going through all these thoughts while you're creating. It's like, okay, how do I deliver and still have my identity? How do I deliver a specific request but still deliver my sound
without tarnishing? Without tarnishing or diminishing yourself. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because we're in the service industry, but also I need to do something where you're going to come back to me for the next one.
Yes. And you stand out too. You want to stand out. You want to be, different. So yeah.
So we know that it's a high, intense, and very stressful environment. But the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yes. That's yep.
You might fumble the first time. There's been plenty of deadlines that I delivered on and I still missed the mark. It's just like, nah, we don't want that. And then you're mad, like, after all that, I rushed to get back.
that part.
I got this done.
Bro.
I canceled this. I moved that.
You spent so much time. Lost sleep.
I conformed to your ID, even though I wanted to do something different, and I still didn't get it.
Right.
Doing what I should have just did me the entire time.
Right.
So you go through all these things,
right,
when you don't hit the opportunity. But the thing to take away is you keep going, because the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. They're not losses.
No, you learn from it. They're experiences. You learn from it.
They're lessons learned.
Yes,
especially because if we remember that music is subjective, we don't know the person's mood on the other end. Exactly. They could have just got off a bad phone call.
There we go.
And the next song they listen to, they're listening to from an irritated perspective, and that might be your song, and they just pass on it. I got a phone call
yep,
about a song I submitted 2 years ago. It's like, hey, we've been looking for you, man. This song here, is it still available? I'm like, they played the song, like, wait a minute. I remember this. I submitted this like 2 years ago.
It'd be like that. Yeah.
So y'all heard this then, skipped over it, and then it just came across your desk in a pile, and you listen again, and now it's the greatest thing you ever heard. I'm like,
yeah.
That's why you can't get hung up.
Right.
You just hit the mark. If they take it, cool. If they don't, it's all right. Just keep going.
Yes,
keep creating. Don't lose your fire. Because pressure can teach you something if you survive it.
Yeah,
you can learn from it.
Exactly.
Because like we said, pressure can make diamonds or pressure can bust pipes.
Yes, sir.
You're in a creative world where creative pressure is part of the daily process.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know one creative that didn't have to go through the walk of pressure.
Bro, like I said, early in my career, man, it got hectic because I didn't know how to handle it, and we all go through that. But over time, and this is to all the creatives out there, over time, you guys will literally get the understanding just going through these hurdles, and you will know how to handle these situations in time. And it becomes easier and easier and easier. So like right now, like I said, I still got, of course, we all go through it, creative pressure, but it's not to the magnitude that I had years ago. Now I handle it better. And I have my peace still because I know how to be intact now. And I know how to prepare myself for that. So it's not, it's not draining me as much as it used to before. So
what pressure teaches? What does it actually teach you? And I'll say, for one, discipline.
Big word, yes. Definitely.
Discipline, for sure. When you think about pressure, the expectations and the deadlines, you're going to have to be disciplined to deliver. You're going to have to be able to sit yourself down and lock in, block out the distractions, focus on the goal, and just straight tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision. That's it, bro.
What would you add to that?
Yeah.
What pressure teaches? What would you add to that list?
I would say pressure also teaches you, like you said, discipline, but also maneuvering through future endeavors and situations. Like, you might not know if you don't go through a situation yet, when you get pressured into the studio and I've been in these situations. A lot of times you go in the studio, you don't think, oh man, I might have to make a beat here on spot. Stuff like that. When you in that hot seat, you're gonna have to know how to deliver.
Ask you what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I made music. Oh, word, what you got? Play something.
What you got? Play something.
Oh, we got an MPC right over there.
Yep.
Get down on
Let's
that.
see what you got.
Yeah.
So it's all about being prepared too. Like that discipline, and it helps you to be more prepared.
Okay.
For future situations. It helps you because now for your peers or whoever, you're dealing with, or collaborators or whatever, other creatives, it makes you look a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Like more business, like business etiquette, more how to maneuver and work in these places like
Okay.
you should.
I like that. I'll
Hmm.
put that into the maturity and endurance
Yes, sir.
lane for sure. That the growth, the understanding, the opportunity that's in front of you, understanding the room,
Right.
the endurance side of it, being able to repeat, wash, rinse, repeat
Yeah. It's like
over
working
and over
out.
again.
It's like working out. When you work out, of course, you building muscle. When you first started, it's like, oh man, you sore and but in time your body's get used to it, and then you start to see the results.
I think it shapes your perspective too.
Yes, sir.
Shapes your perspective, and these are things that creators need to learn early. Like the sooner you understand that creative pressure is a part of your journey and it never goes away,
Never.
the better off you'll be when it arrives, because you know that this is coming. This is not something you should have anxiety over, which a lot of us did, because
Yo.
we completely underestimated expectations and deadlines and how finite the deadlines are. This isn't elementary school where
Mm.
if the entire class is not performing well, the teacher's going to give you a grading curve to make it look better.
Right.
Like, oh no, you all fail.
Yeah.
Vamos.
Yeah.
New batch. Come on in,
Right,
guys.
right.
This is the opportunity. This is what we're looking for. This is when it's due. And go.
That's the difference. You can be replaced quick.
And there's a lot of people waiting to take your spot.
Yes. That's prepared and ready to go. So that's what we gotta you gotta compete with,
So I say in a lot of ways, creative pressure is not part of the job. Like it's actually what shapes the creator,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is going to be the final question. What has creative pressure taught you about yourself?
Man, it just taught me how to be a better producer, a better person, better individual in a whole, man, because earlier, like I said, it's an emotional thing as well. Like creative pressure, if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to maneuver how you need to maneuver in the future in these situations at all. If I never had creative pressure, I probably, especially what I know now, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at for real, because I would have missed a lot of opportunities. I would have flaked out, whatever the case may be. Whatever creative pressure does to you when it comes to that, and you don't know how to handle it right, you will miss out on a lot. And I'm so glad over the years I was able to maneuver through it and adapt to it,
Mhm.
because if I ain't adapt to it, like I said, I don't know where I'd be right now,
Creative pressure taught me that, one, creative pressure showed me I had some gaps
Right,
to fill.
right.
It showed me I need to sharpen up on music theory.
Mm-hmm.
It showed me the holes in my toolbox. It showed me the missing pieces. Right. I need to understand compressors. I need to understand limiters. I need to understand the tools that I'm using that shapes sound.
Right.
I need to understand spacing.
Yeah.
I need to understand timing. I need to be able to read the room
Right.
better.
That's very important. Not to
Yeah.
cut you off, but when you said you need to understand all those things, I remember years ago I was at an event called All Access Music Conference, and it was in New York at Webster Hall, and they had a part where all the producers in the room, like, we can network and like play each other's music.
Mm.
Bro, one time and back then I knew, I was like, yo, I got fire beats, man. I know and stuff was dope. But one guy, he was listening. We linked up. It's like, yo, we hearing each other's beats, hearing each other's music. Yo, he started listening to my beats. It's like, yo, this hard. It's hard, bro, but you ain't got no bottom end in your beats. And back then I'm like, like, what you mean? I ain't got no bottom end, dog. Like, what?
So where that bass
Where
at?
that bass at? So that, like, that pressure right there in itself, it goes a lot to say sometimes we might not even know that. You know what I mean? Then might not even know or not knowledgeable of it. When I went back into it, like afterwards, I was like, "What are you talking about, bottoming?" Then my homie, shout out to Tech. Tech is my boy from my hometown, but he also was my engineer for a long time too, and he actually helped me. And also the over time, me listening and a lot of my friends, and also I went to Full Sail. I did a little bit of Full Sail online, Full Sail University. So they trained my ear to the max. Like I started to hear frequencies that I didn't even know exist.
What's up with that 140?
Right.
140 hertz. I need that,
Bro. Yo. So, and then mind you, back then I had those Beats by Dre Pros. So everything, the reason why it was like that was because
everything was enhanced.
Everything was enhanced in them headphones.
So give you a flat response,
bro. When I'm listening to them in the headphones, oh, this sounds
this
immaculate.
You don't know what he's talking about. Do you get a flat response pair of headphones? Like,
bro,
oh,
yo,
this is what he's talking about,
bro. It got to a point to where I went through 3 pairs of those joints, the pros, the big joints, bro. When I tell you, I had to retrain my ears with regular headphones, flat response, extra studio mounted headphones. That was crazy. That was a process.
Message.
Yo.
Studio headphones with a flat response so you can hear the true sound of your record. Listening through other headphones like Beats that have enhancements on the low end and shine at the top,
bro,
gives you a false sense of reality of what your song actually sounds like. So when you play it somewhere and it doesn't sound like what you heard in your headphones, that's why.
That's a fact. Yeah, bro. When you said that, that kind of like struck a nerve because I was that person back then. And over time, that's I had to get that knock. I had to get that knock. You know what I'm saying? So
it was a good session, bro. Listen, if you know a creator needs to hear this, send this episode. If you want to hear more conversations like this about the process behind creation, subscribe to Titan Sound Sessions. I'm your host, Double A. My guy, Nuk Beatz. I'll see you soon.
Prime example.